Hello, it's Ruby, and today I'm going to be telling you how you can stay productive over the summer holidays, how you can continue to do things which are going to benefit you, your health, your mind, and how you can have a really good summer off the back of this. Personally, I feel at my happiest when I am productive, when I'm doing something, when I've got something to show for what I'm doing, and that inspires happiness, it inspires fulfillment. So the things that I'm going to be telling you will hopefully inspire the same feeling. They're not obviously all directed towards studying because there are productive things to do other than just studying. Productivity is whatever makes you feel fulfilled, and so that's going to change from person to person. I have got a long list of things which I am going to be suggesting that you could do, maybe consider doing, to try and be productive this summer holiday. This video is actually sponsored by Skillshare, which is a website which allows you to learn new skills. So they have video tutorials and you watch them, and they're basically courses that tell you how to do specific things, and they're often very specific. So I'm going to show you some examples. These are the ones that I have bookmarked to watch myself, and the ones that I have watched so far are really interesting, and they really do help you to develop these new skills. So I'm going to first of all focus on education, and then I'm going to go on to more miscellaneous things that you can do, so to do with health and well-being. So Skillshare is actually the first thing that I want to talk about in terms of having a productive summer, because one thing that you could do is decide to take up a new skill, a new hobby. So for example, something like wildlife photography. There is actually a course which I saw on Skillshare which is how to take outdoor photography. So developing these new skills and actually using Skillshare to help you to do this, it's a really great medium of supporting what you are trying to learn about. There might be a skill that you want to develop which is actually going to help you in school or work. For example, there is quite a lot on marketing on Skillshare, something that you can actually implement into your own career. So another thing that you could do is listen to podcasts. So I like to basically just keep a list of podcasts which I want to listen to and download a few onto my phone, because it is really good to have them all in one place so that when you don't have internet connection, you can just sit there and listen to a podcast, something interesting that you want to learn about anyway. Of course, the thing that you know I'm going to recommend to you is reading, because I am a massive bookworm and summer is the best time to read. You just have so much more time to really commit yourself to reading these books that have been on your reading lists, on your Goodreads. My Goodreads is Ruby Granger, if you're wondering, that have been on your reading list all year but you haven't had a chance to read. So summer is the perfect time to do that, and reading is just amazing. I hardly have to tell you that. So something you could do is do a project on something that you find interesting, personally interesting. So you might have seen in the past that I actually like to keep a journal where I just write down things as they come up that I would really like to learn more about. So you could take something that you want to learn more about and do a project on it, maybe visit some museums or just research online, watch documentaries, and put together a comprehensive guide on that topic. This is actually really fun to do. I've done it a couple of times. Another thing you could do is visit places. So this is something which is so much harder to do during the school year or when you're working, because you don't really have the time to just go and see something. But over the summer you do have that time. Obviously it depends on how busy you are, whether you have the resources in order to get to where you want to go, because I mean, travelling to Machu Picchu is obviously a lot more difficult than going up to London to see a museum. But for example, one thing that I really want to see this summer is the Cavendish stones. I really want to travel up and see those, and because it's the summer I do have the chance to do that. Summer's a really great time for learning interactively as opposed to from books or lectures, things that are online, things that are more secondary. You can actually look to primary sources. You can see things firsthand during the summer. One thing that you might want to do as well is do random Quizlet sets. You can find them by just searching random things on Quizlet, and a lot of the time when you want to learn about something, somebody has already done it for school, so they've got a Quizlet set, and then you can just go through and maybe learn some new facts if you want to. I'd also recommend trying to learn new words every day. So there are websites where they'll give you a word of the day. I think you can get them emailed to your inbox as well. So for example, I got this book for Christmas a couple of years ago, and you could just open this at a random page or go through one by one and learn a new word every day and then try and use it in a sentence. You can come up with your own vocab list and then improve your vocab over the summer. Another thing you could do is do crosswords or do riddles. I love doing mind games like that. Code words as well are really great fun, or trying to crack codes. I really enjoy doing those. Or you might want to try and learn a new skill for maths. That's something that I'm planning on doing this summer, but I haven't done yet, is to learn something that I don't already know in maths and then try and use it myself, just teach it to myself for the pure interest of doing it. Another thing you could learn is calligraphy. There are really unique things that you can do to do with education though. One thing that you might want to do if you're going on holiday, this is something that I did a couple of years ago, I think when I was in year 9 or year 10, I decided to make a tourism project. So I came up with a questionnaire, and then I went and asked locals about how they thought tourism had affected the local area, and then I did a write-up of this, added charts, added conclusions, evaluation, and then showed my geography teacher when I got back to school. And this was really great fun because I'd never learned about tourism at that point, and I basically got to look into tourism so that I could ask these questions and really understand the answers. So this is a really great thing to do if you're going on holiday, and it's quite specific, something which is quite easy to do. Hi, I'm doing this project on tourism in Devon.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if I could just ask you a few questions.
Yeah, sure.
So would you say that tourism has changed life in Devon?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay, and would you say that this is positive or negative?
Both.
Visiting museums and galleries as well. I know I said about the Cavendish stones, but museums and galleries too. Visiting your local city or town. There are so many interesting things to learn from museums. Another thing you could do is do online courses. There are such a massive range of websites online which offer these, and a lot of them are free. So I've used FutureLearn in the past. You could also maybe make a family tree. This is something that I wanted to do for such a long time, but I haven't got around to doing it before. My great-granddad actually started one of our family, and I really want to continue it, but I haven't got around to doing it. We need to find it, we need to dig it out. What you could do is find a famous person that you really admire, so maybe an academic or a lecturer, a public figure who's working on a campaign, and contact them with questions. They don't always reply, but on occasion they do, and it can be really interesting if you've got some questions about, you probably know that I like philosophy and theology since I'm going to study it next year at university, but sometimes I will email theologians or people who own particular churches or places of worship, and I'll just ask them questions about why they do what they do, and I just find the responses really interesting. And it's about communicating with the knowledge that with the things that you read, with the things that you hear, instead of just accepting it, being able to go that step further and test your curiosity and actually find out more about the thing that really interests you. So I'd recommend doing that. So now I'm going to suggest some things that you could do which aren't studying but which are equally productive and can make you feel productive and make you feel as though you have made the most out of your summer. Now, the first thing I would definitely recommend is seeing friends, seeing people that you don't get to see a lot during the year, so especially if you're still at school, meeting up with people that don't go to your school, people who you don't see very regularly, because you can rekindle these relationships and make sure that you don't fall out of contact with people. Another thing, again in terms of people, is to write letters to other people that you don't see regularly again, or maybe even writing to a pen pal if you have a friend who lives in a different country. Equally, you could write kind thank you notes to people. This is just so rewarding to do. You could leave kind notes just dotted around a public place, in books or something, and it's just so rewarding to know that you've done it. Another thing that you could do is exercise, which is really important, and I feel as though we don't really get too much time to prioritise this during the school year, at least I don't, but over the summer you do have that time, so actually scheduling this into your everyday can make you feel so much more productive, feel as though you've accomplished a lot more. Also, I mean, one thing that I am planning on doing this summer is trying to learn new gymnastics moves, because I really like gymnastics. I just do it recreationally for fun, but it's really good maybe to try and learn a new dance move or a new gymnastics move, because they are fun to learn and then you have something to show at the end of it. Another thing that you could do is baking or cooking, so you might want to make a meal for your family or maybe make some treats if you've got friends coming round. Another thing you could do, which I really love doing and which certainly is productive, is to organise or clean or tidy or declutter. Any of this is so productive, because we all want to have a clean and tidy space, and during the school year or or when you're working, you don't necessarily have the time to get this completely done, but over the summer you have time to get rid of all of the clothes that you don't wear anymore. And then the final two things which I would suggest are organising, ready for the next term, ready for next year. So making goals, planning your life goals, making a bucket list of those kinds of goals, because then you have something to work towards, and I think it's always so much better to work with a goal in mind. As well as that, you could look over your syllabus for next year for school or university, look over reading lists, and start thinking about how you're going to work for that when you get back to school, so that you're more prepared. You can just go in and it's much easier to get into the hang of things. Get into the swing of things, sorry. And also I'd really recommend watching videos on things I wish I'd known before, because they are really useful. So for example, things I wish I'd known before sixth form or before GCSEs, or I'm watching before university. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm now going to talk to you a tiny bit more about Skillshare. So as I mentioned before, Skillshare is a website which allows you to access loads of different videos that teach you new skills, and if you click on the link in the description box, then you can head over to Skillshare and make a free account, but the first 200 people will receive premium membership, so they'll be able to access everything on the site. So basically these first 200 people will get access to 2 months of free membership with Skillshare and actually start to learn all of these new skills. So definitely go and click on the link in the description box if you are interested in doing this. As I've said, Skillshare is good not only because it allows you to learn about things which you're personally interested in, develop new skills just for the sake of having them, but also it's able to progress you in terms of your future career, in terms of your future, in terms of taking you where you want to go in your future. So it allows you to develop these really core central skills. Loads of new tips, for example, if you want to start your own business. So Skillshare is $10 a month for premium membership. And thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and for providing the free membership for 200 people. Thank you for watching this video. I know it was so highly requested. I think this is the video that I have had the most requests for over the past 2 months, and I finally filmed it, so I really hope that it's as useful as you were hoping for. I hope that you're able to implement some of these tips into your own summer lives and enhancing your productivity as a consequence. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and have a productive week.